and the date a century from then, when the time capsule was supposed to be opened, and dropped it with a thud on the fresh dirt. They had probably planned to place the granite slab just so, with the proper gravity for the reporter to record with his flash camera, but the weight of the slab evidently took them by surprise, and they dropped it. The slab landed a little off to the side. The coach got down on his knees on the freezing ground and used both hands to shove the slab into its proper place. The newspaper reporter took photographs to record the event for posterity. Shivering, Knox shifted his weight restlessly back and forth. "I'm going to ask," he said suddenly, and left Kelvin's side to stalk the reporter through the tangle of people as they began dispersing. Sighing, Kelvin followed. Sometimes he thought Knox was more bulldog than boy, because he found it impossible to just let something go. "What do you mean?" Kelvin heard the reporter Max Browning say as he looked at Knox with a distracted frown. "The time capsule," Knox explained. "The newspaper said there are 12 items, but there were 13 put in it. I counted. I wanted to know what the 13th thing was." "There were just 12, just like the paper said." "I counted," Knox repeated. He didn't get surly, but he stood his ground. Max glanced at Kelvin. "Hey," he said in greeting, then shrugged at Knox. "Sorry, I can't help you. I didn't see anything different." Knox's head turned and he locked his attention like a homing missile on the departing mayor's back. If Max couldn't help him, he'd go to the source. Kelvin caught the back of Knox's jacket as the kid started in pursuit. "Don't go dogging the mayor," he said in a mild tone. "It isn't that important. I just want to know. So ask the coach when school starts back next Monday." "That's 6 days." Knox looked horrified at having to wait that long to find out something he could find out today. "The time capsule isn't going anywhere." Kelvin checked his watch. "The ball game's about to start. Let's go on in." Ohio State was playing Southern Cal, and Kelvin was really rooting for the Buckeyes because his youngest sister's husband had played for Southern Cal about 10 years ago, and Kelvin hated the son of a bitch, so he always rooted for whomever the Trojans were playing. Knox looked around, scowling as he realized the mayor was already out of sight and the coach was driving away. Mrs. Proctor, the superintendent, was talking to a tall man Knox didn't recognize, and he didn't want to approach Mrs. Proctor anyway because she looked sour and fake, with too much makeup caked in her frown lines, and he thought she probably smelled as sour as she looked. Disgruntled, he followed his dad back to the hardware store. He never got to ask the football coach what else had been in the time capsule, because the next morning the coach, Howard Easley, was found hanging from a tree in his backyard. There was no note, but the cops figured suicide because the coach had gotten divorced the year before and had been trying without success to convince his ex-wife to give him another chance. He had been hanging there long enough that he'd gone completely cold, and snow had collected on his head and shoulders. The coach's suicide knocked all thoughts of the time capsule out of Knox's head. When he heard the detail about snow on the coach's head, he took off for the library to look up rigor mortis and how long it took a body to cool that much. There were a lot of variables, including if there'd been a wind that night that would have caused the body to cool faster. But if he figured right, the coach had been hanging there at least since midnight. Fascinated, he kept digging, his interest caught by first one thing, then another, as he delved into investigative techniques. This was some cool shit, he thought. He liked it, solving puzzles by taking tiny pieces of evidence. That was exactly what he enjoyed doing anyway. Forget taking over the hardware store. He wanted to be a cop. Chapter 1, June 27, 2005. "Hey, Knox, who dug that hole next to the flagpole?" Knox looked up from the report he was writing. As chief county investigator, he had his own office, though it